Hi, this is Dallas. I'm here at GameHole 2022. I'm here with
Mel with Guys, Games, and Beer, and we are here at GameHole with...
I'm Bill Webb from Frog God Games.
I'm Ken Spencer from Frog God Games.
Edwin Nagy, also with Frog God Games.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here.
Welcome. They've been on here like they are our yearly staple now.
I can still say welcome. That's like being polite. Sheesh.
I'm the disembodied voice off screen that's been doing a little heckling.
I know, there you go.
So, hey,
Hey, good news is, guys, these mics are awesome. We can't hear them anyway. So
Oh,
it's
I know,
fine.
that's awesome.
Do you have earplugs also so we can't hear him?
Oh, man.
okay,
So
What have you been doing?
Well,
Why are you here?
we're here because we're here every year, man. You guys give us free whiskey and do fun interviews.
Oh, speaking of which, we have some whiskey.
We do?
Yeah.
You want to hold that bottle up?
Yeah, bring it.
Now,
trying to become a tradition.
It's-
Tradition now.
I don't think I know the tradition. Why is this a tradition?
They started it.
Oh. So tell me about the whiskey tradition
Well, the
then.
whiskey
Why is
tradition
this
is the first year we did the interview with you guys, we drank beer. And I mentioned to you folks that I preferred whiskey. And so the next year we showed up and did an interview, and there was a bottle of whiskey. And,
I think I brought that one.
Yeah, you might have.
Yeah, I did.
And there,
Bring it up a little
in
bit.
that particular interview, I think we had about 15 people from the company, and I'm pretty
I
sure
remember
we drank
this
your
now.
whole bottle of whiskey.
I'm sorry. That's why you open a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, one interview.
People who save whiskey, honestly.
And so we keep coming back for more, and we enjoy working with you guys and talking to you.
Yes.
It's really nice that you let us do this, and we can show off a couple of our new projects and that kind of thing. And I think last year we produced 46 books or something like that.
Sounds
So
about
pretty
right.
prolific.
What?
That's what the whiskey does.
That's what the whiskey does.
I
It
mean,
makes you really prolific.
short, direct connection.
So I need to drink
Absolutely.
more, is what you're saying.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then I didn't think we'd ever find our art director is a guy named Casey Christopherson. He's probably the most published gentleman in the industry. And I think Ken here is catching him. So Ken's been really busy writing a lot of stuff. They don't let me write too much stuff anymore because I'm having to run the company, but that's going to change fairly soon.
Why is that?
Well, we restructured our partnering
Okay.
and how we're doing stuff a little bit with Edwin as a major partner and Zach Glazer as a major partner. Ken's also a partner. And so a lot of the duties that I've had to do historically are getting passed to other folks.
And that's okay, because that allows you to do...
Well, that's
One of the
other
things that he does
and more
best.
that-
yeah,
Right,
we-
exactly.
we
Get
want
creative.
to write, we want me writing books. I mean, that's a thing. And actually, the one thing I'd mention first that's up and coming, in about 2 to 3 weeks, probably there'll be a Kickstarter for a book called The Heart of St. Bathus. And the gentleman who wrote it is a guy named W.D.B.K. Knauer.
Ooh.
And if those of you who remember me from the old days, back in Necromancer Games early times, he wrote 2 books back then. Both of them won
seen it?
Gold Indie Awards for Best Adventure.
Wow.
And the trick is though, he writes books that are like on shelves at Safeway. And so when I went to him 10 years ago to try and get him to write another book, he's like, Bill, if I write a book, a paperback, I'll make $250,000. If I write a book for you, I'll make $5. He told me no. And then about 2 years ago, he called me and said, I've got an idea. I want to write this book. And so we're really excited to have Bill. It'll probably be the last one he writes for us because he doesn't have time. But Bill Knauer, his first book now since 2003, I think.
Wow.
And that one will be on Kickstarter. It's called The Heart of St. Bathus. I think Edwin showed you guys the
Cover, yeah.
cover. And I'm really excied about that.
That
He
is
was- He was one
fantastic.
of the first guys I worked with when I got in the industry. So it's really nice.
One more time. When is Kickstarter?
Kickstarter.
When is the
it'll be
Kickstarter?
Early November.
Yeah,
I don't- we
about
don't-
3 weeks from now.
Do you have an address for it? Otherwise, we'll put in the links below.
I don't.
We do not yet have an address, but we will. We
I
should
can
have it.
send it
In,
to you.
yeah, we'll have it in time to get you.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys.
Yes.
It's got to go through the whole approval process at Kickstarter and all that stuff. It takes longer now than it used to. But it is what it is. And then, Edwin, do you want to talk about any of the other stuff we have sitting here, or Ken? There's a lot
Do you
of
want
stuff.
to? Should we
got
do
a
our
whole box
whiskey
of toys
first?
here.
We should cheers.
Yeah, Well,
You already did.
I need a
Do you
little
need more?
help first.
Wait a minute. I can tell.
He needs more.
I was gonna say I'd love to cheers.
Well, I will.
I-
I was going to.
There we go.
I will hold it not over the box.
Not over the box.
Yeah, not over the box.
Thank you, sir.
Really hard to explain.
Oh, there we go.
See,
You short you.
I didn't short her. She said she
I hadn't done it yet. I was being I'm being judicious. It's and
Some of our new stuff that's
Pleasure.
coming is just
She
delivering.
frog got games.
woo!
Thank you, my friend.
It's Orion. Anyway,
Keep going, keep
Okay,
going.
so where are we
Oh yeah. So, well, I think
Eric, you are juggling. I'll pull something out.
yes.
yeah. So we've got the latest in our Tome series. So we've got Tome of Wondrous Items. We've got Tome of Treasures. This is shipping in a month.
Mid-December.
Mid-December, and then we are a couple months from having a Tome of Spell Mastery come out. So new spells and new ways of casting spells for 5th edition. Some subclasses, some of our rare player-facing books. I'm kind of excited for that with the spell stuff. And I think this book is awesome. This is basically you have a 50 gold piece or a 500 gold piece or a 50,000 gold piece treasure that you want to make interesting. That will make it interesting. So rather than just saying, here's a bunch of...
In other words, you get a jeweled cup with a
backstory
dragon inscribed on it with eyes of rubies and emeralds for a tail and that kind of thing. It's worth 2,000 gold pieces instead of getting 2,000 gold pieces. So it actually it's a really interesting book.
Yeah.
We've had really good luck with the Tome series that we've done, be it the monster books or the spell books or the alchemy book, which is our bestseller on Amazon right now.
Wow.
Wondrous Items. And Artifacts is coming next year, so we're going to continue this series.
Wow.
Yeah, so I guess we've got 2 Tome books coming up next year.
This book actually is not even out.
Oh,
yet.
and 3.
That's
We've
a-
got
that's
3
a-
Tome books. 3 Tome books. Adventures, spells, and artifacts.
But this one will go on sale mid-December. It's actually on the slow boat from Hong Kong right now. This is one of the pre-release copies. They sent us 4 of them
Nice.
for the show.
Yeah, the reason I'm not allowed to spill whiskey on that is because it's one of our 4 copies.
Right.
This other stuff I can just do whatever with.
Well, I think we ought to
feel like-
let's show that one.
Yeah, Necropolis.
So, those of you who followed my career in this industry know that I wrote a book with Gary Gygax way back in the day, and it's called Necropolis, strangely enough.
I feel like you need to stand up for this one, Ken, and open that cover up.
Yeah.
Show the map.
Yeah.
Anyway, we this one
Nice.
one of our lead developers, Mark Greenberg, took my and Gary's gibberish and converted it into 5th edition in English, and it's a book that was originally released under the Legendary Adventure system back in the early '80s.
Oh my God, it keeps growing and growing and growing.
3.5.
I'm trying not to tear it out of the book.
Ah, you
know,
can
I
pull it out,
know.
it's no big deal. It sticks back
Look
in.
at that.
But anyway, so this is the second most expensive piece of artwork in the history of our company. Behind the Teagle Manor map, which is about 6 pages that big. And they're both
That's
by the
beautiful.
same artist. It's Alyssa Fate, if you guys know who she is.
There we go.
There's the level of detail on this thing. It has, like, the little skulls in the corner and the food on the plates type thing. And for this particular adventure, it's Egyptian setting. It's very Gygaxian. It's sort of, I always describe it as the Village of Hobbit meets Tomb of Horrors on crack.
There's some blood on the floor.
So,
Somebody got blood on the floor?
Somebody help him pull that up.
yeah, somebody help me
If
pull
you
that up.
hold on to it, well, let's take it all the way out so we can show the big art.
Yeah.
The big art on the back, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
Wow.
There we go.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, there you go. Hold it that way.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Good to
yeah.
the other side.
Oh,
The other side.
The map's the sexy part.
the map is the sexy part.
But the cover art's not bad, I
Yeah,
guess.
cover art's not bad either. Yeah,
I
Alyssa's
great cover
really a true talent in the industry. She's, I think, in my opinion, I think she's the best cartographer in the industry. And
Good.
we ever do the books that have my name on it. It seems to be that way.
But when we do them,
Wait a minute.
But anyway, so that one, we're pretty excited about that, and that just came out in July or August of this year. So we have those in the warehouse, and they're for sale. And then, for those of you who don't know, we don't just do Kickstarters, and we don't just do website sales. We also do Indiegogos. The reason we do that is we couldn't really come up with a good format to produce short modules, which was sort of the background of our entire operation. We were a short module company. We used to make, and we weren't pumping them out fast enough. Kickstarter isn't really set up to
Designed
do
for
things
that.
fast.
No, they're not.
And so every couple weeks, we run an Indiegogo campaign and produce short modules. And so I think we're.
So
Where's the fungus?
Yeah,
the fungus god is not with us here.
So this is part of the reason we're able to produce so many books. And every couple weeks we come out with one of these things. We actually print on 100-pound high gloss paper for most of these things. We go a little bit overboard on it, but the pages won't tear, and the colors of it are just really spectacular. We use a small local printer down in Arizona for this.
Yeah, so this is our most recent Halloween adventure,
Yeah.
which we are just getting in the mail very soon, which is super exciting. So
Well, I think most of the folks looking around, or at least you guys probably know, we do holiday stuff.
People love these things.
Yeah,
We
Yes.
do Orchid Stole Christmas. I think we're up to number 5 or something this year.
we've got the Yule, Beware the Yule Cat, an
Beware the Yule
Icelandic,
Cat, yeah.
an Icelandic. It's so I didn't know this, but it's apparently an Icelandic tradition of having a cat the size of a house as one of the Christmas terrors.
Okay.
So
Didn't
it's
know
like
that.
my-
Clothes.
If you don't get new clothes and wear them, then you
Wear
get
them,
you get
yeah.
killed by the Christmas cat.
You're just screwed at that point.
Exactly.
If you're
Awesome.
given a gift, you should use it.
You should absolutely
I'm gonna
wear the new
remember
clothes.
this.
So in addition to frog themes, apparently we have cat.
We have cat
themes,
games.
because rest in peace, Steve the cat did die this year at 17. And he's been a villain in a few of my books. It's my old farm cat.
Am I supposed to pour one out? No,
I
not
know,
quite.
right? We can pour it out and see. He lived a good life and happy life and everything else.
Okay.
He murdered about 1,000 mice. The little forest creatures that live out by my farm.
He did his job, man.
Have written poems about the evil of Steve the Disney villain. You put my wife in the hospital twice, so there's that with blood poisoning. So it was definitely my cat. But he'd get real jealous of everybody with me. So, but yeah, he's actually
Dang.
we're gonna be revamping Sword of Air for 5th edition, which is the book that Steve stars in.
I'm just
at
gonna
some
say
point
he
next
can
year.
come back from the dead
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a scarier thought. Than,
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
Yeah, I mean,
with new powers.
So that just gives you an
probably.
idea for the night. Anyway,
exactly.
for my game. But we really like doing these short books. And then I don't know how much you guys know about the charity work we do. We do a lot of charity work.
Please talk about that. We always love talking
our,
about that.
Our primary charities that we work with are related to children's autism.
Okay.
And then the other one that we work with is Navy Marine Corps Relief Fund, and they help enlisted families with bridge loans so they don't have to go to those places that charge you 70% interest type thing. And we probably paid for more prenatal visits for non-English speaking military spouses than any other company.
Wow.
Maybe any other company.
That's
so
incredible.
We work. We do a lot of humble bundles. We have 2 primary charities that we do work with, and we actually got data on. I think we've raised over $350,000 for an MRCS, and probably 150 or 200 for autism. And so
That's incredible.
And so we used to work with hospice. Their overhead rates got a little too high, and so we've moved on to the other charities a little bit.
There's a lot of charities out there.
There are, and the thing I like with, and actually there'll be a humble bundle for maps, cartography.
Oh, yeah.
Launching on the 4th of November, and it features Alyssa, who you just saw a map from. You saw it's got a couple hundred maps in it. I think it's going to cost $17 or something, and a big hunk of that.
I know. I love the
Yeah.
maps. I
And,
know.
we really like working with Humble Bundle. They do some really good work, and we sponsor other people to do those. We've brought a lot of folks into the fold, and the latest one was Tom Tullis's 3D miniatures software. And then the next one's going to be cartography, and it does feature Alyssa. So,
Okay.
and several other people, but Alyssa's going to be prominently figuring in there. And so that's November 4th. Check us out on Facebook for that, Frog Gut Games.
And we will link everything below. Fear not.
And,
Because you guys,
Cats to dogs.
I mean, the list of
Cats to Dogs, yeah.
ooh.
Lake
of
Dust.
Dogs.
Lake of Dust. Yep.
And that's shipping now?
Lake of Dust should be is printing now. It's
Printing
literally
now.
printing.
I think I
like,
paid the bill yesterday.
yeah,
So.
yeah.
Anyway, the other thing I'd like Edwin to maybe talk a little bit about is, obviously we do 5th edition books. We do OD&D old school books like Swords and Wizardry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we used to do Pathfinder, but we don't anymore.
Okay.
But Steve Chanel's my oldest friend in the industry, and he owns Troller Games, and we were sort of figuring out what we wanted to do because we really felt like we wanted to support Castles and Crusades. And so on some projects now, we're going to be doing a third version of at least our short modules and some other books. So we're going to be doing 5th edition, some sort of OD&D, which I think is probably going to be OSE, right?
I think yep.
Yeah, it's going to be.
And
OSE.
then
Castles and Crusades.
Castles and
I'm gonna
Crusades.
swap you out.
Okay.
Siege engine system.
Is my battery dying?
Want to make sure we hear you, and yours
you guys,
is as
you
well.
guys should
So
probably talk about that a little more.
Why don't you talk about your Northlands a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Little Castles and Crusades excitement. So
Yes,
that's probably coming up
I
early next
think
year.
Early next year, it's going to be. We've already doing the Halloween double feature had a Castle and Crusades component.
Yep.
Coming up, for those of you who have been fans of us for a long time, remember Northland Saga from back in 2010. We're bringing it into 5e and OSE, Old School Essentials, and Castles and Crusades early next year. And I am, as the creator of Northland Saga, revamping and not just converting and giving you the thing we had before. We're revamping with a brand new saga, focusing on Althonak and his attempt, the Demon Lord of Ice and Winter, and his attempt to start an ice age to end the world.
Yesterday, Ken was appropriately dressed to
I
talk
was a
about it.
Viking
He was a Viking yesterday.
Nice.
Today's
Today
a pirate.
I'm a pirate. Tomorrow I'm a wizard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a
Excellent.
costume every day.
Nice. Me
Because
too.
I won't wear. Yeah, I know. So I won't wear the polo
like I
shirt.
said,
So that's my option.
Ken's one of our most prolific writers, and I have to tell a funny Ken story. So, most of you know, or some of you know, we produced my world setting from that dates back to the late 1970s.
Okay.
And Ken was one of the main writers on that. And there was a typo in the manuscript. Now we gathered at a friend's house in Chicago with myself and the lead developer and a few other people to go through this thing and check all the 200 books or whatever that were referenced in it to make sure that it matched, right?
Yes.
So that the NPC in the town was
extremely important to do.
because it was 800,000.
Nothing
words.
drives people crazier than
The
that.
world setting's 800,000 words. So
And I'm
it's
sure the
big.
comments and letters you get with that.
Yeah.
Occasionally,
So-
people notice things.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and believe me, even though we might not notice it, our fans will. So,
Oh, yes.
So anyway, so Ken had a typo in one of the entries on the Isle of Anger apes, and for some reason, instead of 24 carnivorous apes, it said 24K carnivorous apes. And so, we were kind of punchy because it was late at night. We've been at this for about 3 days at this point, and I'm rolling around the ground laughing.
K is for Ken, of course.
So is Mark Greenberg, who's the lead developer. And I tell Zach, call Ken, wake him up. We're calling him right now. And so we call him, wake him up. We're like, dude, you have to write a book that justifies the 24,000 carnivorous apes on this five square mile island. And he did. And it's called the Isle of Angry Apes. I think we're out of it. We still have it as a PDF.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
beautiful.
hilarious. And he actually managed to make it make sense.
That's not the first time you've called me in the middle of the night because we're in different time zones with an adventure idea. Earlier this year we did, and I think we're also have sold out of all of those. We did the Indiegogo for rattlesnakes, a cask of dwarven whiskey.
Mithril.
Rattlesnakes and a cask of dwarven whiskey,
Yeah.
which came about because my phone rang in the middle of the night. It's Bill, and I'm like, why am I getting a call at 2 in the morning?
Okay.
And he goes, hey, I just sent you a news story from USA Today. Make that into an adventure.
Totally.
And it was somebody in Florida who got arrested and they had uranium, a live rattlesnake, and whiskey in the back of their car. He says, make this into an adventure set in the Lost
It kind of
Lands.
writes itself.
And then he
Yeah,
hangs
exactly.
up, and I'm sitting there in bed going,
This is why Bill thinks I don't have a phone.
Well, you get inspired when you get inspired, right? Sometimes it's 2 a.m.
yeah.
And,
Yes, true. True.
And,
So there's been suggestions by some fans we do a Florida Man series of adventures.
Yeah.
He
Oh
just
my-
keeps sending me random
I know,
stories.
oh
I
my
make
God,
into
Florida.
that's Jack. What are you doing in the next 20 years? Like, seriously, how far out do you plan your publications?
Yeah, so these guys, the shorts, the Indiegogos, we've got about a 1-year pipeline, which
Sure.
means we are ordering manuscripts for stuff that we'll print and sell in a year.
Sure.
And we're just keep moving that forward and forward. For the books, we are currently, actually just today at lunch, we were scheduling through 2024.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
have.
it's amazing how far out you can.
And have
start
to,
going.
because
You do.
you want to pull in 100, 200,000 words, and then you got to
Yep.
get the art, and
Everything has to
and
be
you
on
don't
a
want to
timeline.
screw up.
That's right.
That's the thing is if we miss a thing, we want to have another thing.
That's right.
So
And that's
Yeah, and screw ups. And I wouldn't call them screw ups, but things can happen
something
that delay a
happens. Exactly. Yeah,
publication.
something happens, right.
I
Absolutely.
generate around 2,000 words a day, 5 days a week, sometimes 6 or 7 if I get inspired too much. And
I cut about 1,000 words a day, 5 days a week.
Totally right.
you know, we have fun. I mean, I put little things in there in the 5e stuff that he's going to have to find.
Will he find
And if he
this?
doesn't find them, then it's his fault. Exactly. But yeah, but when you have to consider, that's just me as the writer.
Yeah.
We've got editors, we've got layout, we got artists,
Proofreaders,
Development.
a lot of creative people who have to come together at the right time, at the right place, in the right way for a book to happen.
That's right. That's how publication
takes
works.
time.
Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
good publication works.
Well, that's where.
Yeah.
That's
Well, it's
where,
been awesome. I mean,
yeah,
we've
that's where,
been.
our art director is the hardest working guy in the industry because he has to deal with all of us idiots.
Yeah.
And
Battery's dead.
here, I can share. And that's where Casey really is.
That moment of, oh my God.
Because he's managing 30 artists worldwide, right?
Yeah.
To do this stuff.
You can't
Wow.
use your
And,
gun as a microphone.
That's crazy.
And he has to make it all match up. Right?
Do you ever get calls like, okay, I'm reading this. What did you mean by 24K? How do you
Yes.
even draw that?
Well, I mean, yeah, how do you draw that? And then when he comes back with make an adventure out of it, we're not fixing it.
right. We already paid for the art. Change the words.
Yeah. So the way I fixed it was that that island, through various means, is trapped in multiple timelines at the same time. So there's 24,000 because there's 24,000 spread amongst 10,000 years.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right.
That's why I called him to have him fix it.
Right, exactly.
There's no way I would have come out with
So,
that.
a very obvious question. Do you guys ever get time to game yourselves? Just for leisure?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Actually, I
Okay.
think in
'Cause you sound
Fraga,
incredibly
the
busy.
three of us are probably
Yeah,
the
probably
gamiest.
the avid gamers.
Gamiest. We're the gamiest.
I have a.
I didn't want to say anything, but then
so
you
I
brought
have
it
a-
up.
I mean,
Gaming
I've been
stuff.
dressed as a pirate.
Exactly. You're definitely
Well, I
gaming.
mean,
Well,
I
I got a
have
flag
an
on
online
the other.
group. We play every Thursday night,
Nice.
and they're actually most of them are here. And then once a year they come out to my farm for a week,
Nice.
and we basically have 7 days of drinking whiskey,
24 hour,
eating
yeah.
big meat, and playing D&D.
Oh,
Perfect.
wait.
And
You're empty?
I just heard a
Oh,
magic
no.
word. Am I allowed to cross the camera?
And anyway, so we the three of us at least do play quite a bit, and of course my family all plays. It's the
Yeah.
first time my son's not here.
Thank you.
We were talking about that earlier, but no one will. Yeah, sure. You can hit me. No one's going to recognize my son when they see him because he's 6'1" and weighs 200 pounds. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a big dude. He's still working. What do we do?
But yeah, if you don't, I've always felt, I've been in this industry for 14, 15 years now, and I've always felt that if you're making games and you're not gaming, then you're not really, where are you getting your love and passion? And this has to be a work of love and passion, because that, well, it does. Because
does. No,
that
I'm with
has
you,
to
I'm with
come
you,
through to our
100%.
customers, because we're selling you a good time. We need to have a good time doing it. Hard work, but a good time. So yeah, you game weekly.
Yeah.
I've got 2 games in each week. One is a real quick, kind of Monday night after work thing, and the other one is a group I've been gaming with for 16, 15 years, something like that. And it's gone through some different changes with personnel, but we meet at our house every Sunday, and it's a long gaming session, and we do a pitch-in dinner, and we've got a lot of good cooks. We just did a dinner and a pumpkin for 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, nice.
One with one giant pumpkin. It's sausage and veg,
Cooked inside, yeah.
cooked inside. And then the next week we loved it so much we did individual pumpkins. So we got the real pumpkin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was.
That's like a bread bowl, but a pumpkin bowl.
That's a pumpkin bowl.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, you just can't eat like the pumpkin shell.
Oh, I should try that sometime. I've never done
The
that.
further you get out, the less edible it is.
Yeah, well,
That sounds
the
fun.
inside's good.
Is it baked in the pumpkin, or
Yeah,
is
it's
it
cooked in the pumpkin.
So what else?
All right.
What else can
I'm
we
gonna
tell
go
you guys about?
buy
What else you want to know? I mean, we're happy
Bunch
to
of
talk
pumpkins.
about
Wait. I know what I want to know.
Okay.
I want to know.
We just filled up.
We just filled.
Yeah, but I think I should.
You should have some more whiskey.
So,
Restore natural order to the world.
Plus, I'm pleased that you're showing your good side to the viewers there. I think they've.
all right.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you for having us over.
We'll do it every year.
Always an alcohol-fueled fun.
Absolutely.
Battery powered now.
Yeah, we fixed it.
Oh, okay.
That's right. You're battery powered. The rest of us are whiskey powered.
There you go.
We'll see who goes further.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
We're strainer. We You got more to talk about? I can talk.
We can talk forever, yeah.
Okay. But is there anything you guys want to know that we haven't talked about?
Well, you went over the release. Oh yeah, you know what? Here, wait.
Reiterate your
We are going to reiterate. So if people want to find all the cool products online, and where are you going to be in the next few things?
Well, I mean, froggames.com is our website.
That part's easy.
It's very easy. Facebook,
And actually, we're going to have some exciting new stuff, I think, on our website in 6 months. So, we've got the product stuff, but we are also looking at having some more interactive, some tools that will be exciting for our customers.
World Anvil.
World Anvil, yeah.
You can find us there, sure.
World Anvil. We're on the Lost Lands is on World Anvil. The Lost Lands is my home campaign. And then, the big thing, the best place to look for us really is on Facebook, because that's where we do all our announcements for what's going out. And then
And we'll get you our Discord channel for the links below.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm learning how this thing works.
I don't know how to use Discord, so I'm not on it. But there's that. But they are. Twitter?
Instagram?
You can see that.
I don't know.
We don't know. We probably have Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, totally.
I'm only allowed on my writing page twice a year.
But I think one of the big ones is make sure you check out the Indiegogos along with the Kickstarters, because
The Indiegogos are fast, furious, and
it's a lot of good stuff.
Because we only make limited quantities of them.
Yeah, exactly right. So we print, and that's it. Like, those are done.
Just have the PDF as an option after that. Maybe
EOD.
on
Yeah.
drive-thru.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. There's no way to store, the hundreds of them that I have in my warehouse.
Yeah, we've been doing that.
They get lost. So,
All right. Well,
all right. Anything
gentlemen,
else?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Being
Thank
on
you,
the
guys.
show.
Wonderful to be here.
We wish you continued success.
Thank you. And to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it for us at this time. We will see you on the next interview here at GameHole 2022.
Hey, we are at GameHole 2020 with the Guys, Games, and Beer crew, and a special guest today.
John from Extra Life.
So, yay, Extra Life. So, John has bought something in for Beer Court today. Wait. I was going to get to that. Just a second. Wow, Larry Rush. Wait a...
Really introduce the beer after.
Okay, all right, well, let's do it then. Ready?
Yeah.
Ba-da-bum. Ba-da-bum-bum. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum-bum-ba-da-da. Beer Court. All right, so, John, what do we got today?
So we have the GI Party Kolsch from Steeltank Brewing Company in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. It's a veteran-owned business. Saw it on the shelf, saw the name, fell in love with the concept, took it home, and it was good. So I decided to bring it out.
Bonus.
Wow. Nice.
Okay, so tell us. So where are they out of again?
Oconomowoc, Wisconsin.
All right, so this is a local one. Can people get them anywhere besides Oconomowoc?
I get it out of my grocery store in Brookfield. So
So they've got some
yeah,
distribution. Good.
they have
good.
some distribution.
All right. Proud to be a veteran. This is the GI Party. We're not going to explain what that means because we're going to drink the beer first and maybe explain what that refers to. So John is military. So John actually knows what all this means. Most people look, oh, GI Party. Not what do you think, kids?
Yeah.
All right, let's give
It's
this.
got some.
Let's give this a try. So it's a Kolsch, and I love a Kolsch.
Got some. You open the can and you're
A
gonna
little hazy,
smell it.
a little hazy, but a really
gotta
nice
smell
golden
it.
color.
It really is gorgeous.
But not a bad smell, but definitely comes up.
Yeah, smooth.
Smooth, crisp, just the right amount of maltiness.
Not too happy.
Well, you see,
balance
so it's
there.
kind of a
Yep.
hazy Kolsch.
It's really pretty.
It is hazy.
Yeah.
So very often Kolsch's can be like a Pilsner, relatively clear beer. This is a little on the hazy side, but I kind of, it's not bad that way.
No, it's pretty solid.
I'm not particularly. It described lemon notes. I'm not particularly getting lemon notes, but I don't miss them either.
I'm getting it on the back end. It's so that it's not like what am I trying to say? There's a touch of a sour at the very end. I think that's where I'm getting the lemon.
Okay. Haven't found it
I
yet,
don't
but
feel like it's on the front end at all.
no, I would agree. It's definitely not there.
I'm not getting any lemon. I'm with you, Larry. There's no lemon here. So here's the thing, though, guys. For a Kolsch, this is a 9.
It's fine.
No, it's five.
Five.
It's a bit of a. It's
He
a.
said
I
9.
think there's a bit of a graphical thing here where you have like a metal grate or a metal,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh.
Diamond plate.
and then the line from it kind of touches the 5.
Oh, so it looked
at
like a
first
9.
glance, it looks like 9. You know. I said first glance.
Steeltank Brewing. I love the name.
Yeah.
Do they have like a tasting room? Do you know?
Yes, they have their breweries in Oconomowoc. They have a tap room, and actually, their first beer I had was their Tear Gas IPA, which I absolutely loved. It is like the right balance of IPA flavors, because IPAs can get too hoppy, or they can have no hop notes whatsoever, and an IPA is not fun unless it has somewhat of a hop note to it. Right, that's the point of drinking an IPA.
Thank you. That is the entire point of an IPA. I want to taste the hop. I want to taste the hops.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the can. The can kind of reminds me of like a sports drink rather than a.
It does look like an energy drink.
It's very cool that they are veteran owned. Do you know the story behind the brewery?
No, I do not. I've been meaning to get out to them.
Where's it go?
Yeah, I gotta get out to them.
Well, when you go, tell us, and we'll try to do a meetup. That'd be awesome.
All right.
All right, I'm going to start the usual questions. Larry, you grabbing it out of the party cooler?
I don't think so.
All right. John, grabbing it out of the party cooler?
I don't think I grab it at a party.
Okay, all right. Dallas?
It's crisp enough to say barely, yes, I could.
Okay, you're going to grab it out of the party cooler. Mel?
I would, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the same way. I like Kolsch's. I'm grabbing it out of the party cooler. All right.
All right.
Larry, you're at the pub. You're ordering it at the pub.
Yeah, I would order this at the pub. Yeah.
Absolutely would order this at a pub.
All right.
Yeah, it's
All right.
supposed to be lovely.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely a nice pub beer, actually. It's
Yeah, I think it might even.
Okay, wait a minute. What are you going to pair it with, Larry?
Oh, what am I gonna pair it with? You know, I'm thinking something light. You know,
Really?
I don't.
I was going to go something heavier with this, but continue.
No, I was thinking.
I'm going to ask you on that.
Maybe something fruity, like a I don't know, watermelon or something. You know.
Wait. Okay, wait.
It's just me.
I agree with you on that.
I want this on tap at the Toad, and I'm getting their salmon dinner with this.
So you can get pair with fish.
Oh, pairing with a fish. Okay, all right.
All right. Well, fish tends to have a lighter flavor,
Shout out to the
so
Toad.
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that
makes
does
sense.
actually. That does. Okay, how about you? What would you get with this?
I'd actually like this with a nice craft burger.
That was okay. I'll get to it because that's exactly what I was thinking. Would be freaking awesome. But okay, Dallas, I like your idea too.
Yeah,
though.
fish or chicken, or like I'm thinking fish or poultry. Or good
Actually, with
choices.
hot
That's
wings,
for
this
lighter
would be-
meats, but
he's-
hot wings. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, you mentioned hot wings, and that was like, oh, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This would probably cool the palate, all right.
exactly. Be a good one for that. Mel, how about you?
I already told you.
Yeah, the salmon dinner. Anything
Yeah.
else? All right. That salmon dinner was a good call, actually. But I'm going to agree with John. I actually like it with this with a really good pub burger.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the Toad has burgers. Not trying to plug the Toad here, but talk about craft burgers.
Hyper local, Racine, Wisconsin. The Toad it's our local, and it's probably got some of the most amazing food. I mean, great beer. I mean, holy crap, they always have an amazing selection. But the food there is
Small
amazing.
little Irish pub.
Yeah, which is why we love it, right?
Yep.
All right. So, okay, let's pick a vote on this one. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that's a solid vote on this. All right. So here, you take this. Oh, wait. Today, presiding over Beer Court is the honorary Skyboy TD, replacing Judge Rob in his missing role today. Wait a minute. I need a gavel. This will work with a gavel. Wait, I'm not done yet. On the charge. Wait a minute. On the charge. Wait, really? Of failing to do your PT, I find you guilty and sentencing you to drinking. All right. Hey, again, we're at GameHole 2022 in Madison, Wisconsin. We'll be here all weekend. If you're here, stop by and say hi. Maybe have a beer with us, and we will see you on the following interviews. Later, all.
Later.
3,
2.
Hi, this is Larry with Guys, Games, and Beer, and we're at GameHole Con 2022, and
I'm with Ryan with Guys, Games, and Beer, and today we brought on the show during this great weekend here in Madison. We have.
Hi, I'm Christopher Rick from thekidsdm.com and Midwest Gaming Classic.
So let's find out what the kidsdm.com is all about.
All right. Back in 2018, I took 5e Dungeons & Dragons and I streamlined it to make it more kid-friendly because those character sheets are like looking at an Excel spreadsheet. They're going to have decades of that when they're old and accountants. I don't want them to do that now, so I made them more visually interesting, and I took character creation and crushed it down to 45 to 60 minutes, and then in a 2-hour session, we still get an hour of adventure, and I have taught 110 kids to play Dungeons & Dragons, along with 55 adults.
Wow.
where are you doing this out of?
I started in 2018 at Board Game Barristers in the Milwaukee area, and then COVID hit, and so I took it online. And you can find my games at startplaying.games or thekidsdm.com.
They're like scheduled sessions?
I do have scheduled sessions. What's happened is that it's streamlined down to just a couple groups, an East Coast group here, a West Coast group here. Sometimes people come to me and say, hey, my nephew wants to play. And I said, if he has a couple friends, we can get a session together and then start meeting regularly. And we use Roll20, which is a virtual tabletop, which is really great because we can be everywhere in the country or whatever. I even ran a game for a dude's birthday in Amsterdam, and his friends were in the Philippines, and we managed to find a time where we could all get together, and his friends had never played D&D, and he was like, I love D&D and I want them to love it. And after the session he came to me and said, dude, that was so cool, they all want to play D&D all the time now. And I was like, all right. So online, startplaying.games or thekidsdm.com.
What? So you're boiling it down, so there's lots of elements to role-playing and that, and you're
Right.
getting people started. What are the sort of boiled down base elements that, you gotta have this as part of, even though it's streamlined, these things gotta be in there?
Sure. So I took it and I kind of parsed it into a 3-tier system, and we kind of technically follow that. I took the character sheet and I tore out all the skills and all the equipment boxes and all the minutia that D&D is about. And I made big silhouettes of characters, like iconic people, a big strong dude with 2 huge battle axes, or like a bow and arrow person or a sword and shield person. And then I took the 6 ability scores and I point them to parts of the body so that they understand that strength is how physically strong you are, and dexterity is how well you move on your feet, and things like that.
Yeah,
And then I have like
pointed to.
colored pencil. Nothing is pointing to Larry in the intelligence box.
I was thinking a great smile. Big cheesy smile. For
Charisma, I tell the kids, because there's this stigma around charisma, I tell the kids that it's not only how pretty you are like I am, it's also how approachable you are as a person. Like, are you easy to talk to? If you have a high score, you could be pretty and easy to talk to. Or you could have a high score and just be pretty and be a horrible person to talk to.
I think that is an important distinction that they should learn, and everyone should kind of know that, is that, charisma is these other kind of outside elements. Like Tommy Lee Jones is not necessarily the best looking person, just raw. But
boy, could you sit down and have 6 beers and shoot the shit with him, right?
Exactly.
He's seems so friendly. Then you have Keanu Reeves, who's totally an 18 charisma because he's such a nice guy, and I'd do him.
See? Like that?
Show of hands.
Come on, you do him too. Sorry, Keanu. I mean, so.
Sorry, I still remember as a tumble.
Constantine in that suit.
As we've said, Ryan whirling down a maddening hole.
Who's derailed the interview now? Bum, bum, bum.
So back to the kids DM.
Yeah, so it's a hobby. role-playing games are a hobby that I've enjoyed for like 40 years now, and I think it's great because for kids especially, I'm starting kids at like 7 years old. They don't know the words dexterity or charisma or constitution to begin with, so we have to explain what those are. But on top of that, they're learning literacy because there's a lot of reading in role-playing games. They're learning math because there's all kinds of math, adding up your dice and your bonuses and things like that. Social skills, teamwork, problem solving, creative thinking, right? Oh, there's this door with a face and a hole in the mouth. What do? If you stick your hand in, you're going to lose a hand. You know.
You learned that the hard way.
I believe it. That's why it's just an artificial hand holding his beer.
You literally have a skill to check for that. Oh.
Well, that's the thing is, in my tier 1 classes, we don't have skills. I make them rely on telling me what they're doing more than just rolling dice. Like, make a perception check. No, I'm like, what do you want to do? They're like, oh, well, I want to figure out how this works. Okay, tell me how you're going to figure that out. And it's kind of as much storytelling as possible, but there always has to be combat because the kids need the action, the drama. And in role-playing games, combat creates tension and drama. So I focus social interaction, exploration, and combat.
Is there any time where you're just blown away by like, so some kid decided to do it a certain way and you're just like, yeah, I guess that could work.
Yeah, all the time. Kids are so creative, and what happens is over time we just beat that creativity at them. Metaphorically, we beat creativity at them because everyone must conform to the expectations of society. But the kids are like, we get up into a situation and they're like, well, what if I do this? And I'm like, I don't know, what if you do? And they explain what they want to do, and I'm like, that sounds really cool. That's a great storytelling piece that they're going to remember. They're going to walk away from the table and be like, Dad, you wouldn't believe what happened in the game, blah, 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 blah. And the DM said, okay. And that's what I want. I want to be the yes and okay, let's do that kind of DM, especially for the kids. So almost every session there's something where I'm just like, whoa, I totally didn't even think of that, because sometimes I don't think of that stuff, even though I myself am a kid in my head.
So you give the kids or whoever's in the half hour, 45 minutes, get your character set up. And
yeah.
Then, when the gaming starts, do you actually have repeat same groups come back then?
Yeah, so what I do is we'll do that initial character development. It's a 9-step process that I got it down to. I boil it down to just 4 races, just 4 classes. You don't want analysis paralysis. You want this to be a fast, fun. I'm going to be an elven rogue or a fighter or whatever, and then get into the action before they lose interest. So I pick 2 hours because that's like a movie.
Yeah.
And then per session per kid, it's $10, which is like a movie in the Wisconsin area, right? Except that instead of sitting back and consuming, they're leaning in and creating. And I think it's way more interesting. And then after that first session, if they come back and say, oh, we want to play some more, I'll be like, okay, do you want to keep that character or do you want to develop another one? It's totally up to them. Sometimes they just love that first character that they create. Sometimes they're like, nah, I want to be like a wizard or a warlock. Or they've read some of the books. They just don't understand how to apply that knowledge to the game. And that's when their parents send them to me and are like, please teach my kid how to play the game. He's read 3 books, but there's something he's missing. And there is always speaking from an education standpoint, there's always a transfer of information issue in complex games like role-playing games. You can read the books and be like, oh, this is cool, and I understand it, and then you get to the table and you're like, I don't know how to apply this knowledge. And that's where I come in. I'm like a bridge between the entertainment and the information for the kids to hopefully set them on a path of adventure for the rest of their lives.
All right. I guess... where am I trying to go with this? Before you play, is there a little before you get online, here's a little bit of homework or something to do before you, or is it jump right in?
Sure. I always ask hey, have you read books? Have you played before? Have you seen friends, or do you have friends that play? Stuff like that, and that gives me an idea of where they are in the experience spectrum. And then we'll just jump right in. I'll be like, okay, let's talk about what a role-playing game is. A role-playing is you taking on a character, blah, 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 blah. We'll talk about basic mechanics of 5e, like advantage or disadvantage, where you're rolling 2d20s and why you're picking one over the other based on the situation. We talk about what things you can do in combat, and then they always inevitably ask questions like, well, can my character do this? And I'm like, yeah. Sometimes there's an element of randomness, the dice, that might prevent you from doing it, but if you can think of it, your character can attempt it, right? And so we just go over the basic guidelines of the rules, we make the characters, and then I say, okay, let's play a game. And they learn the rules hands-on, as opposed to, and some of them have already read the books and like, the information is there, but they're like, I don't know what do I do at the table? I'm like, okay, so take your D20, add your bonus from your dexterity, and this will tell us how successful you are in something.
So where's this at now? Is it sort of an ongoing thing, or are you trying to build it more, or what's going on with it? Where's it at?
I would love to have like 4 nights a week or 4 days a week where I'm hanging out with kids and running games and we're creating stories and things like that. But I have other obligations sometimes too. So I try to strike a balance where I get as many games in with the kids as I can. I have a standing every Wednesday afternoon group. They're almost all on the East Coast. We've had 62 sessions together since COVID started. We started every other week, and now we've gone to every week, and so it's over 2 years, but it's 62 sessions. Even they were like, whoa, 60 sessions, that's amazing. And
that's my whole life.
it's their whole lives. Yeah. But then like the parents come and they say, if we hadn't found you when COVID hit, our kid would have checked out of society, would have retreated into his room and just been in his room for years. But now we walk past his room and he's laughing and he's joking around and he's talking to friends and he's interacting. And during COVID, that was really important because there are a lot of kids that just kind of detached from life outside their room or outside their home during COVID because things were so locked down. So startplaying.games is great because I can schedule things. All the information is there. You go there, you find me, or you can go to thekidsdm.com and find me through that. I give all the information that parents need. I have a secure Discord server where it's only the kid players, myself and my business partner. Anybody that shows up on that server that doesn't tell me who they are or what gaming group they're in gets booted immediately because I'm also a parent and I understand that there's security has to be taken seriously for your kids to keep them safe, especially online. So there's various ways to find me.
So what other hats you wearing these days?
Oh, well, I also work for the Midwest Gaming Classic.
What?
Yeah, it's this really cool all-inclusive games trade show. Don't let that fool you. It's tons of fun. That happens in Milwaukee every spring and takes over the entire downtown convention center. And I do now, with my new responsibilities, all of ticketing, which I've done for 7 years, and merchandise.
I mean,
where the real money's
Midwest
at.
Gaming Classic, the opposite time of the year of GameHole Con. It's a good, here in Wisconsin, you've got your spring taken care of with gaming, and
Yep.
fall taken care of with gaming. So, I mean, it's great stuff. So, but, what have you been working on recently for maybe 2023?
Okay.
Secret.
I will dance around.
Wait a minute,
some
that's a
of the
big question that Ryan just asked. So I am dying to hear the answer. Oh, by the way, this is the disembodied voice that occasionally cuts into the show just to talk over everybody.
Yeah, we try to push him out.
Because you said you were in charge of ticketing and merchandising, but it sounded like there was more to that.
There absolutely is. And because I'm a role player game and I'm here at GameHole Con with you guys, it also means I'm working because we always need new vendors and content at MidwestGamingClassic.com because our show is continually growing. We had great growth after COVID. It was amazing how many people came out to the show in 2022, and we want that same type of growth curve to continue for 2023. We don't talk about the 2021 show because we had to have a show, otherwise otherwise the convention center was going to be like, give us the money. And we were like, we don't want to give you the money. We want to make the money. So my job, aside from ticketing and merchandise, is also to find interesting vendors and content developers that want to come to the show and expand what we offer. And so I'm here poaching a bunch of clients from GameHole. But we're in spring and they're in fall, and everybody has time to do it.
Exactly.
So
it is kind of interesting how that kind of grew to blend and incorporate. Like Milcog is here, and they're also at Classic to blend those kinds of gaming. Sometimes I've run into gamers that aren't really into one or the other. And it's like, hey, it's all good gaming.
And that's sort of the problem that I'm working to solve with Midwest Gaming Classic 2023 is that the role-playing game room hasn't always been as busy as it could be. And I think it's because the MGC audience is different than every RPG convention. I go to a lot of conventions. I go to GaryCon, I go to Gen Con, I go to GameHole Con, I'll be at EverCon, I'll be at Midwinter, I'll be at DaveCon. It just goes on. And I'm always trying to just play games and have fun, but I'm also always working because I see how things work at these conventions. Now, there's so much to see at MGC with 150,000 square feet of footage of area to fill that you don't want to sit down at an RPG table and play a game that would normally be 4 or 6 hours. But if you could get a 1-hour demo, that's your little slice of pie for RPGs, and then you move on to the pinball room or the arcade room or a retro console tournament or something like that.
I mean, we're one of those groups ourselves. We have 2 different things we do. At GameHole Con, we come here, we do these great interviews with people like yourself.
Aww.
And then at Midwest Gaming Classic, we are a totally different entity.
You are. You have a room full of content, great stuff for people to come see.
But it's that, like you said, you're trying to bring a little bit of, they're almost like 2 different circles of people.
Yeah.
And there's some overlap, quite a bit of overlap.
There's content producers, which you guys are, and there's vendors who are trying to sell here at GameHole Con, and others they're called exhibitors or whatever. But you've got product to sell. I'm both. I create content by running games at RPGs, but I'm also a vendor because I'm selling my products through 2oldguysgames.com, 2oggames.com. So, and those are those double threats for conventions are fantastic. If you're somebody that has something to bring to the table, and then you can also recoup your costs by selling your product at the same time, that's win-win for everybody, right? Because then the convention visit for you doesn't cost so much because you recoup that cost by selling your products and getting your name out there, which is kind of what I do when I'm running games at conventions, because I'll run stuff I ran and then say, if you like this and you want to run it for your group, go get it from blah, blah, blah.
You got anything else, Ryan? Anything else you want to hit?
Yes. The final thing I want to say. Right now, we're looking for interested RPG publishers that want to come help us grow RPGs at Midwest Gaming Classic. It's been there for a couple years. We usually give like a 2-3 year thing to see if something sinks or floats. And right now, it's just on the cusp, and so we need to grow it. We have a room that I think is like 8,000 square feet that needs to be filled with role-playing game, tabletop role-playing game content. We have another 8,000 square foot room that's filled with board games from Milcog, as you mentioned. We're trying to do that kind of success over at, is that Gar from Garcade? I think that was Gar from Garcade. Sorry, was that? He didn't even wave.
More
Oh, that
overlap.
jerk.
Even more
Yeah, there's Gar from Garcade. I have his beanie in the car. I was wearing it yesterday.
We're fully distracted here.
He didn't even look at us and nod. He just kind of, gives you a nod.
It's like, oh, it's so
Anyway, RPG content is the current growth, and vendors in the vendor hall, because the vendor hall is so huge, we can always put more content in there. So if you want to come and sell, or you want to be on a presentation panel, or you want to do both of those and sell your products and run demos of games or whatever, find us on MidwestGamingClassic.com.
great.
And And what was the kids' website again?
thekidsdm.com, where you can book me to teach your kids, or I do kids, adults, and families. I'll teach you all. If you want to hang out with your kids and have some really cool quality time and something you never thought you would do together, like you played D&D back in the day but you don't know how to get your kids involved, I'm the guy to talk to. I will get you to bond with your kids over the role-playing game table. They might hate you at the end of the game because your character didn't do what they wanted. They'll get over that too.
All right, well, thanks for spending a little time with us here at GameHole Con.
Oh.
Yep, this is Ryan taking us out. We'll be here again for more interviews. Thank you, Chris, for joining us to talk about GameHole Midwest Gaming Classic and
thekidsdm.com. Yep. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you guys.
Yep.
Now, if we could get the
Great to see
cameraman to turn off the camera.
Otherwise, we'll just be still. And the credits.
All the
credits
Alex
are,
and
well,
Free.
right now is all the extra hats that Chris wears. They're
Hey,
scrolling down the screen.
Hey, do you want to go get some shawarma after this? I saw a shawarma place a couple blocks down.
Because he's got to start putting
Scrolling titles. thekidsdm.com, 2oggames.com, midwestgamingclassic.com, goatstore.com, jjgames.com.
I doubt we'll get anybody to turn off our camera.
Now we're going to have the credits scroll again. thekidsdm.com, midwestgamingclassic.com, 2oggames.com, goatstore.com, jjgames.com.
Why are you still here?
Oh, you're still here?
Oh, yeah.
I was
This has
joking.
been over for 5
If you want me to
minutes.
go a third time through all the URLs on the screen right now,
Yeah,
I'll
the
do
camera's
it.
still
But I
rolling.
suggest you go get your own beer and have some fun, because this camera's about to be turned off.
I think the film's about
I'm pretty
to
sure
run
the camera's about to be turned off. Look, I can hear it flapping.
Yeah. Turn it
out. Now
off.
it's to
Was it
static.
never rolling?
Now we're on
What's
static.
going on?
Are you guys saying you're done?
We've been done.
Are they done?
Well, I mean, I could go through all the URLs again if you want, but I think a fourth time is excessive.
3 times is a charm.
We just gave Rob a lot of work. He's got to put
Yeah.
scrolling
3 times now.
on top of us chatting. So he's busy.
All right.
Guys, games, and beer.